good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, live in the beautiful studios of WZAB 880 The Biz. We're streaming live also, those of you all on the internet. We're also streaming live on YouTube, so you can catch us at go to youtube.com, put in Robert Henderson Jr. Understanding Money. We're streaming live also on the internet at www.880thebiz.com. www.880thebiz.com. We got a great show lined up for you. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. I'm driving here solo today again. My co-host, sister-in-law, Linda V. Harris. She's the vice president of the Henderson Financial Group. She's out of the country this week. Hopefully she'll join us next week. Those of you all who are listening to me for the first time, I'm a certified financial planner. I'm the president of the Henderson Financial Group, and it's been over 35 years actually that I've been in the business, full service financial planning. I'm a stockbroker, a registered representative. I'm a real estate broker. Actually, real estate was my first professional license that I obtained back in 1979. So I was in real estate a long time. I'm also an insurance advisor, which means that I counsel a lot of people in terms of insurance. I'm also a retirement specialist. We handle a lot of clients that is nearing retiring or have retired, and they need good, sound financial planning. We're holistic. We don't just do investment planning, but like I said, we do asset protection. We also do risk management. We deal with small business owners. We deal with mid-sized business owners. And we also deal with just professional people, but we don't have a minimum. You know, if you basically have a desire and you need some help and you want to get your financial house in order, then give us a call. You can call we're down here in Miami, Florida. We also have a office in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and then we have an office also in Atlanta, Buckhead, right there at Monarch Plaza. All of our securities business we clear through IFS Securities there in Buckhead, right there at Monarch Plaza, IFS Securities. You can look at them up. Fantastic organization. So what we're going to do here, I have a great show lineup for you today. You know, my daughter, Hyacinth, who's been working in the firm for 17 years, going on 18 years. She's fantastic. She's also a licensed representative, a stockbroker. She's also a registered investment advisor. She's also an insurance advisor. I'm very proud of her. She started a radio show also on the same station a couple weeks ago. And last night, she did a fantastic job. I want you all to start listening to her every Friday night. You can listen live on Facebook Live and also here at 880 The Biz. That's 880 a.m. And if you can go on the internet, you can go to www.880thebiz.com. And she talked about something that I want to continue to talk about today. One of the main topics she talked about last night was credit, the advantages of having good credit. A lot of people don't understand that. And then she segued right into home ownership. So I want to pick back up on that home ownership, the pros and cons of paying off your mortgage. Some people think, that's all they've been told is, when you grow up, go to school, get educated, go to college, get married, have 2.5 kids, buy a home, pay it off, and then retire, and that's the American dream. Well, that's not the American dream for everyone. And we've seen that 95% of people, when they follow that path, oftentimes it doesn't work out quite like that. Pretty much most of the time it's a disaster. There's a lot of peaks and valleys. It's not as easy as it may seem. And on top of that, you got to think about this. No one can really give you your dream, this whole American dream. One of the main things that we've been bamboozled with is the American dream is being able to have a home, or to own a home. Now, don't get me wrong. I think everyone, should have a place to lay their head. And life is so short. It goes by so fast, believe it or not. I know when you're, in your 20s and 30s, you think, you got all the time in the world. But now I'm 60 years old. I'll be 61 this year. And I can remember when I was in the second grade. I mean, I can remember. I mean, it went by really so fast. That's one thing that I've learned, that the show will go on. I don't care if you're rich, poor, gay, straight, black, white. No one can stop time. Time is one of the most precious commodities that we have. It's misunderstood. We think we have a whole lot of time, but let me tell you something. Time doesn't stop for no one. I mean, you could be sleeping under a bridge. You could be sitting under a tree on a milk crate drinking a beer. Wherever you are, the time is still going to go by. And I think most of us just don't understand just how valuable time is. You can always get money, lose money, get it back. But one thing you can never get back is this time. So you got to start, focusing on how valuable and how important your time really is. Because a lot of times when you grow up and get some sense, and then you say, okay, I see how the world works now, you've lost a lot of time. You can't go back and pay for it, recoup it. And it's just a sad thing. So listen to the words that's coming out of my mouth now. I want you to focus on time, because it goes by really, really fast. If you don't believe me, just think about 5 years ago. Most of us can remember what happened 5 years ago. Most of us, if you're sound mind and you're not heavily medicated, you can remember what happened. So if you can remember what happened 3 years ago and 5 years, like it was yesterday, imagine today and 5 years from now. It's going to fly by. So if you're not doing your thing, if you're not actually progressing and working on a worthy cause, if you're not actually have your sights on a goal of accomplishment, 5 years will go by and you haven't done anything. Trust me, it'll go by and you'll be like, oh my goodness, especially if you're fixing and winning, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get to it. No, 5 years, 10 years will go by and you've gotten older and you can't get that time by and you missed it. And that's a sad, sad thing. One thing is really bad is to regret. To regret, man. Nobody can help you with that regret. That stays with you for the rest of your life. So today what I want to talk to you all about is the advantages and the disadvantages of paying off your home. Yes. That's what I want to talk to you about. And I want to go slow because I want you to understand this. I did this a few months ago, but it wasn't on YouTube yet. Now we're streaming live. We're on YouTube. So all of my shows are being loaded on YouTube. So you all can go back and look 12 years ago and hear what I said and how I have changed a lot of my views. Because, if I'm still the same person or my same views today that I was 12 years ago, that means I haven't grown. So I want you all to look back at some of my old tapes and some of my old recordings and see how my viewpoint has changed. One of my viewpoints have changed profoundly. I used to be a believer of buy term and invest the rest. Oh my goodness. Some of you all Bible religious people will understand the scriptures. That reminds me of the guy named Paul that was in the scriptures, how he was a just crusader. Anybody that said Jesus' name, he wanted to cut him and gut him like a fish. But then he had an epiphany. He got blind. And he said, please, God, give me my sight and I'll serve you. And that happened. His sight was restored and he became the greatest crusader advocate for Jesus. Well, that happened to me with this buy term and invest the rest. I had it for myself. And I drank the Kool-Aid because it sounds really good. Paid the least amount for life insurance, death insurance. And the reason why I thought that, because why would I want to pay money to die and put a lot of money? I wanted to invest my money in stocks and real estate so I could live. And I didn't want to be putting money away for when I'm dead. It's not going to benefit me. Okay, yeah, it'll benefit my loved ones. So that's why I did buy term. And, I bought $1 million policy early on when I was in my, young 20s. But that's a Trojan horse. That's a trap. And there's a reason why term life is cheap. There's a reason why. There's a reason why it's the most profitable product for an insurance company. It's the reason why it costs you more to buy term dollar for dollar in terms of the value than it does whole life or even universal life, really. And we'll talk about that some other time. But I had an epiphany and I've grown from that. And in the coming weeks, we're going to talk more about that, what I have learned over those 12 years, okay? And despite what there's Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey are telling you, trust me, I've walked this walk. I know it. I've been to the mountaintop. I've studied this stuff. There's a reason why there's different costs and different plans for life insurance. There's strategies. And there's a lot of strategies that you just don't understand right now, but I'm going to unveil them and bring them to the light for you. But today's topic is, let's talk about the advantages first of owning a home and paying it off. Let's talk about that, all right? Think about it. Now, when you buy a home, especially when you're young, you get out of college and you get a good job, and first thing you want to do is, get you a BMW, or especially if you're working at a professional job, you're an engineer or architect or a lawyer or a doctor. You want to show everybody else that you've arrived and you have home ownerships. And they tell us that, get a home ownership, which is good. I think everybody should have a home, It's just the way how you finance it, that's what I'm talking about. So the advantages of having a home and paying it off, having a mortgage and paying it off, is you don't have a mortgage anymore. I mean, think about it. You got this house, you paid $200, $300, $500, $600,000 for this house. You got a 30-year mortgage, and your goal is to work for 15 years or 30 years and to pay this house off. Now I want you to think about that. That costs a lot of money to pay off a house. A goal to paying off a house. Now, why do you need a house? Because you need shelter. Think about it. You need shelter. You need somewhere to lay your head, to come out of the elements, whether it's rain or snowing or whatever. You want to be somewhere where you can have peace and quiet, you can have safety. That's what you need. You don't necessarily have to be paying a mortgage. It could be an apartment building, but they tell you apartment, you're paying, it's like rent, you never pay it off. You could be the duplex or whatever, but that's not your own. There are plenty of people that, 80 years old and they never own a home. Before they die, they said their dream is to own a home, to say it's theirs. So owning a home really psychologically gives you a peace of mind. That's what we've been told. And you feel good. You have no mortgage. It's yours. They can't take it away from you. Nah, that's not true. But you get that whole feeling, that ecstasy feeling, that euphoria, that Avante. You have something and it's yours. And you start thinking, especially if you have some children, if anything should happen to you, at least your children have somewhere to come and lay their head. Isn't that true? That's the reason why you want to hurry up and pay off this mortgage. You want to retire, and then when you retire, you want to have this mortgage paid off so you won't have no more monthly payments, right? It makes you feel like when you collecting Social Security or collecting your pension or your retirement benefits, that's one less debt that you have to deal with. And like Dave Ramsey and them like to say, hey, owe no man. You don't want to be in debt to nobody, So paying off your home, it's just it's economically, it doesn't make a whole lot of economic sense, and we're going to talk about that, but psychologically, it feels good. Secondly, why you want to pay off your home? Because now you don't want to be paying interest, because part of your mortgage, you pay interest and you pay principal. If you buy a home and it says it's a $400,000 home, by the time you pay it off in 30 years, you've paid 3 times that amount. So if it's a $400,000 home, you done pay 1.2 in interest and principal, and especially taxes and insurance. So you pay, even though they sold you the house for $400,000, you wind up paying 1.2. If they sold you the house for $200,000, you wind up paying $600,000 out of your pocket over 30 years. And like I say, it gives you peace of mind to have this house paid off, right? And those of you listening to me, you let the church say amen. And some of y'all listening to me, you do have the house paid off. And a lot of people envy you. And a lot of people feel like, man, if I can just get there and have a paid off house. That's the advantages. Now let that just marinate a little. Okay, imagine your house is paid off. That's a lot of money that you fast track. I had one guy who used to be a client, couldn't talk to him. He had leaned on his own understanding. Him and his wife were said they're going to retire in 7 years. And I tried to talk to this guy, but sometimes some people you can talk to them until you're blue in the face. They just can't hear you. Everything you say is blah, 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 blah. Sometimes, man, you tell people to seek counseling, but they don't want to hear you. They want to do what they want to do. This guy said him and his wife was going to retire in 7 years. And he was working overtime and doing whatever he had to do, and he was coming up with an extra $3,000 a month. And his wife was working overtime and was coming up with extra $1,000 a month over and above their regular, ordinary monthly overhead expense. So they was coming up, and they was hustling up an extra $4,000 because he said in 7 years what he wanted to do, $4,000 a month that they was going to pay toward their mortgage and their car notes and credit cards. And he had in his mind, time value of money, he felt that in 7 years everything will be paid off and he can retire and they can ride off in the sunset. But what he failed to understand is that when he been paid almost $350,000 over those 7 years, he would have paid off his house. He would have paid off his debt, whatever debt he had, car. But that's $350,000 that he don't have anymore. That money is gone. We call that missed opportunity money. We call that missed opportunity money. That money could have been making more money for him. If he have the nerve to actually save $350,000 over 7 years, can you imagine if he put that in a nice investment in 7 years? Do you know the next 7 years it would have doubled? The next 7 years? Heck, he could have paid everything off and still had his money. But oh, no. He didn't understand because he leaned on his own simple understanding. He figured 1 + 1 is 2, and he don't know that you can do one. He don't know that you can do. Well, he figured 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. He didn't know instead of doing 1 + 1 = 3, he didn't know that you can do 1.5 + 1.5 = 3. He didn't know that. He just thought that 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. I was just trying to show him how 1.5 and 1.5 = 3, but he couldn't hear me. He couldn't see me. He couldn't understand. He only seen this 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. So let's talk about the disadvantages. So why would you? Robert, why would you say not pay off a house? First of all, the people that pay off houses are rich. Now, if you're rich and you have access money, then I can see you can pay off your primary residence because you just have a lot of money. You know, $20 million, $50 million, $100 million. But the banks have Jedi mind us. Remember, when you pay off a house, you still have the upkeep on that house. Think about it. If you bust your butt 15 years, 20 years, and 30 years and pay off a house, you have no more money. And then when you retire and you paid off the house and you don't have a job, all of your money is inside the house, the bricks and mortar. It's in the house. And I'm going to tell you something, what a lot of y'all don't realize. More than 50% of people that have paid off their house, they don't have no homeowners insurance. No, they don't. No. Why? Because when they was financing the house and they owed the bank required them to have insurance on the house just in case of flood or the fire happened. The bank lent them money and they owed the bank, so the bank had them collateralize the loan with a lien on their house. And the bank says, listen, if this house get destroyed, how you going to pay us? So we're going to make sure that you have homeowners insurance. So they did it. But then when they finally paid off the house, they got rid of this insurance too. Now, what kind of cockamamie is that? When you owe the man, you're going to have the property insured. When you done paid off and you don't owe anybody and the house is paid off, now you're not going to insure it. You got all your money tied up in this asset and you don't have no insurance on it. You don't know if a hurricane gonna come, a tornado gonna come. Now that you talking about risk, that's a lot of foolish risk. I can't tell you how many people come in my office and tell me that their house is paid off, and I ask them about what kind of homeowners insurance they have, and they say they don't have no homeowners insurance. You know the next question I asked them? I said, how did you get to my office today? They say they drove. I say, how much you owe on your car? They said, well, my car paid off too. I say, well, do you have auto insurance? Done right, I have auto insurance. So you're trying to tell me that you're going to insure the car that you don't have payments on, that is of less value, but you got to have auto insurance, right? And now you don't owe anybody, but you feel somebody may hit your car, so you want the insurance company to reimburse you, so you're going to have insurance on it. But you have a house that's $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 with no mortgage because you done bust and put all your money into that and paid it off, and you don't have no insurance on it? You talk about risk? That's not risk management. That makes absolutely no sense. Think about what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of people that are doing this. It's like this guy that's saving an extra $4,000 a month and paying off his bills rather than investing that. He don't have that money anymore. Let me tell you something. I don't care. The people that got a house paid off, their refrigerator stopped. Their kitchen cabinets need to be replaced. And even though you have a house paid off, you always got to pay them taxes. Yes, you do. There's plenty of people that house is paid off. They bust their butt, they fast track, they paid for 30 years. But they didn't pay the taxes. And if you don't pay your taxes after 3 years in most states, they can repossess your home and foreclose. That's right. They take it away from you. You could pay your mortgage off. But if you don't pay that property taxes, oh yeah, you'll lose that house. Same house. Yes. Yes, you will. And you got to have the house insured, because if you don't have it insured, then you risk some sort of unforeseen catastrophe could happen. Stuff happens. Y'all know stuff happens. I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are, black, white, gay, straight. Stuff always happening. You will never get to the point where stuff don't happen. A billion trillionaire. The guy, Jeff Bezos, richest man in the world now with Amazon. Stuff happens. The man just got a divorce. Stuff happens. Money couldn't keep him together. He gave her billions of dollars. Now he got a new wife. Stuff happens. She could wake up and say, I don't like you either. I want to divorce you too. Stuff happens. Stuff is going to always happen. Stop thinking in your mind that you're going to get to a point where stuff don't happen. No. Stuff happens. And it's going to keep happening. The richest stuff happens. Your cousin, something happened to your cousin, something happened to your wife, your girlfriend, and then if you have children, stuff so gonna happen. Something gonna happen to the car, something gonna happen to everything, something gonna happen to you. You can just wake up and something happen. You're back, you went to bed feeling good, you woke up, your leg hurting. What happened? You were just sleeping. When you woke up, now you got an ache in your leg. Stuff happened. And one place you don't wanna go, two places you don't wanna go in America. You don't wanna be messed up in them hospitals. Jesus, you don't want to be messed up in them hospitals. I just found out that when I said, I was talking to a client, I said, a lot of attorneys, not no disrespect for y'all attorneys, but a lot of attorneys own something. They taking some sort of up or down appeal. I mean, I guess they go through a lot of they got to go through a lot of stress, but they taking something. I don't know if it's cocaine or whatever. I can't say that, but a lot of them own something. I'm not saying it. Listen, don't get mad. If you're an attorney, if the shoe don't fit, don't worry about it. We're not talking about you. Y'all know who I'm talking about, y'all. It's the truth. When you're in a high-stress job, a lot of them, they own something. In the hospitals, don't you think them doctors ain't taking them pills? Don't you think them pharmacists ain't taking them pills? They looking at you cross-eyed because they own some of that stuff too. I'm telling you, it's pretty tough to be sane and sound in America. It's really tough and sane to be sane and sound in America, and it's really hard making money legally. It's hard making money illegally too. I'd rather make money hard legally than to make money illegally. Because making money illegally, man, you got everybody at you. Everybody. The man at you, the feds at you, the girls at you, the guys at you, everybody at you when you're doing it illegally. Well, they still at you when you're doing it legally too, the regulators, because they at you. But at least when you're doing it right and you got your T's crossed and your I's dotted, you feel a little better. But when you're doing illegal, ill-gotten gains, whoo, Lord. And in America, they want to put everybody in jail. Everybody, you try to make some money, they trying to put you in jail. Why? Because it's very profitable to have you in jail. They get a lot of money from the government from locking you up. That's what's taking place right now with this immigration stuff. This immigration, that's about money, man. Talking about taking jobs, that's about money. That's all about money. Them bounty hunters, ICE, they got organizations that got contracts with the government Soon as they round you up and find you, that's like, they get paid for rounding you up. Talking about for America. No, there's money. It's like the slave trade was about money. Oh man, yeah, I'm digressing. My God, I got so much to say. Let's talk about. Let me stick to this disadvantages and advantages of owning a home. Now, when you pay off the house, think about it. You have no more money, and your goal was to pay off the house because you want to be able to not have a mortgage. You don't want to be able to pay the interest. Plus, you want to be able to leave the house to your loved ones. But let me tell you, all you had to do is get an insurance policy for that. You can get an insurance policy and guarantee when you die, because all of us got to die, you can get one for $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million. It's better to do that than pay off a house, because when you get ready to leave here, it's guaranteed. Your loved one's gonna get that. If you want your wife or your child or school or alma mater to get $1 million, all you got to do is take out an insurance policy, pay it monthly or pay it annual, however you want to pay it. That's going to happen. That's guaranteed. So you can take care of that. When you pay off your house, it's non-liquid. Now all of a sudden you need some money. How you going to get the money? Because when you go to the bank want to know how you're going to pay them back. You have a paid off house. You can't go to the grocery store and get no grocery. No. Just because you got a paid off house, what that mean? Where your money at? Matter of fact, when you in financial planning, if you go to a bank and you say, listen, I want to borrow some money, and you fill out a financial asset sheet, they don't care about no residence, no house. If you pay the house off, they don't look at that as part of your net worth. No. Outside, they said, always say excluding your home. Think about it. Next time you all just ask a banker. When you want to size up yourself and see your net worth, they never put your house is never included. Net worth mean how many stocks you have, how many bonds you have, how many mutual funds you have, how many rental properties you have, how much money you have in the bank. Okay, that's assets minus liability, but that's not your personal residence. And most people, all their money is tied up into the house. We've been bamboozled, man. We've been fooled. We on the wrong track. If you're trying to have prosperity, you on the wrong track. You can't get that and putting all of your eggs in your house. When you put money in the house and the house is paid off, your house does not earn any interest. If you have a house and you don't have any mortgage, all that equity is tied up. You might as well have that money buried in the ground. Because think about this. If you have a house, you have no mortgage, and let's say your house is valued at $500,000. Next year, they appraise your house, and it went up 10%. 10% of a $500,000 house means it went up $50,000. So now your house is worth $550,000. But think about this. The next door neighbor, whose house isn't paid off, and their house is valued at $500,000. They're all in the same community. Their house went up 10% also. They made $50,000 also. But your house is paid off. You don't get more than what they get. When the property appraisers say in this neighborhood, the house is now worth $550,000, that's everybody in the neighborhood house went up. But they don't say everybody in the neighborhood who don't have a mortgage get more. No, you get the same. So your equity that's in your house that you paid off, you never earn interest on it. Think about it. You're not being a good steward. You paid off all this money, dumped it in a piece of wood or a brick and mortar, and now it's sitting there deteriorating. You never earn interest on equity in the home. It sits there. Y'all get that? I want y'all to understand that. You're not working your money. Money's supposed to be used to work. You're supposed to make it flow. Money shouldn't sleep. It should always be earning some kind of compound interest for you. If you ain't doing that, if you taking your money, giving it away, and you ain't using other people's money, like my daughter Heisey said last night at 9 p.m. on 880 The Biz, you gotta be using other people's money. Let me show y'all how the banks work. Did you all know that every bank and credit union, if you put $1,000 in there today, the next day they can leverage that 10 times. So now they got $10,000 to invest out to consumers. If you have $10,000 in the bank, Now the bank can leverage that 10 times, meaning that they can lend out 100,000. Had a new client that came into the office, and she said she has 100,000 sitting in the bank, Chase Bank. I say, well, you earning 0.001. So if you got $100,000 sitting in a bank or credit union, I said, you're probably making $10 for the whole year interest. Says, what? So she checked it out. She called me and said, Mr. Henderson, my money's sitting, her $100,000 sitting into a checking account and it's been sitting there for 3 years and it earns no interest. Zero. She don't even earn the $10. But I'm tell you what, you know what that did for the bank? Soon as that 100,000 was sitting in there, the next day the bank was able to lend out $1 million. Whatever you deposit in the bank, they can lend out 10 times it. So off her 100,000, the next person that came in line, they lent them 100,000 of her money, anchored, because it's not the gold standard anymore. This is fiat. It's make believe. It's paper. It's a whole buddy system. That's why most people don't get. Listen, if I stand up right now, I ain't got a dollar bill in my pocket. It's credit cards or debit card, and now they got a Cash App and Zelle. Ain't people not walking around with green stinking dollars anymore. If you're doing that, you a drug dealer. That's it. If you walking around here with paper money, you getting ready to be like the dinosaur. Now they talking about cryptocurrency, man. You getting ready to be just in a whole nother world, time warp. So the banks now, that's how they use leverage. You gotta leverage your money too. You can't do like that guy that I was trying to tell. He taking $4,000 and giving it away. He supposed to take that $4,000 and put it into something safe. I'll tell you about that later. Put it in something safe where it's guaranteed, and then leverage that $4,000 and get another $4,000 to pay off his house. That's what he's supposed to do, and keep his $4,000. But no, I couldn't tell him. Because the only thing he thought is 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. He just couldn't understand that 1.5 and 1.5 could be 3 too. He just couldn't get it through his mind. But some of y'all, you can, like I said, you can talk to you blue in the face. You just can't hear. That's okay. I used to feel real bad. Not until I read the scriptures. When Jesus says, there will always be the poor among you, Robert. So don't get back. Don't get mad. Don't feel bad. I don't care what you say. There will always be the poor among you. Everybody ain't gonna get it. Everybody not gonna get to heaven. Everybody not gonna get to the promised land. Everybody that have eyes can't see. Everybody that got ears cannot hear. Now I understand that. So let's get back, because I keep digressing. I have so much to say and time go by. As a matter of fact, I forgot to give out the word. Mike, you're supposed to remind me, man, on the 15 after, you're supposed to put that music on, man, to help me. Because I'm supposed to give out the word of the day, and I just be going like the ever-ready battery. As a matter of fact, why don't we take a break right now, and we come back. I got to give out the word of the day, and we're going to talk about why you might be making a big mistake by trying to hurry up and pay off your house. I'm going to tell you what you can do better than that. You're listening to Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. We listen live to 880 The Biz, www.880thebiz.com. We're streaming live. We're also on YouTube. Don't you touch that dial. When we come back, I got the word of today. And I think you're going to like this word. We'll be right back after the station break. We're back live. Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, live in the beautiful studios of 880 The Biz. We're streaming live at www.880thebiz.com. And if you're local, it's 880 AM. And we're also on YouTube. The word of the day is fallacious. You know, today, ex-Secretary of Labor Costa, he had gave a fallacious representation of what happened with Epstein case and those girls, and thank God, today he resigned, and that was due. So the word today is fallacious. Fallacious means it's falsehood. It's the untruth, and a lot of people, especially business, politics, and especially what's going on today in our world. There's a lot of fallacious representation that is going on. I'm spelling fallacious as in F as in Ford, A as in Apple, L as in Larry, L as in Larry, A as in Apple, C as in Charlie, I as in India, O as in ocean, U as in uncle, and S as in Sam. That's the word of the day. Are you making fallacious accusations? Are you fallacious? I like that word. All right. So let's talk about, so what could you do? I got one client, rather than paying off his mortgage, what he did was he got an interest-only mortgage. Think about it. Why would he want to get an interest-only mortgage? Because when you buy a home, there is a principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. We call it PITI. So you pay, the principal is you paying, so let's say you buy a $400,000 home, $500,000 home. Part of your and you finance it. Part of your monthly payment is you're going to be paying principal. And the other part is you're going to be paying interest. Well, the most part, you pay a lot of interest. You pay a little bit of the principal. So let's just say if you're home and you buy a $400,000 or $500,000 house, and let's say the monthly payment is $2,500 or $3,000 a month. Out of that $3,000 a month, probably $500 is probably $600 is going to go towards your principal. The other the other $1,900 is going to be interest. So, and a lot of people say, well, they want to make extra payments to pay off this house, and they want to pay it off early because they want to have that peace of mind that they've been taught. Big mama, big papa, they have a paid off house. Well, this guy, what he did was, which is very smart, he said, no, I don't want to pay principal and interest. I just want to pay interest. Now, when he just say he pays interest, that means when he bought this $500,000 house, and let's say he put down, 10%, first time home buyer. He put down $50,000. So now he owes the bank $450,000. But he's paying interest only. And it's still, instead of paying $2,500 a month, let's say he pays $1,900 a month. That extra $600, he took that money and he put it into a cash value life insurance. Yes. And there's different type of cash value life insurance. There's different type of insurance. I'm not talking about term insurance. That's death insurance. There's a reason why they've come up with different type of life insurance, because there's different strategies. And all life insurance is not just death insurance. Yeah, true enough, life insurance companies got to offer you benefits in case you die. But for a lot of the life insurance strategies, that's secondary, believe it or not. It's supposed to be for death benefit, but there's a whole lot of side effects to different type of life insurance strategies that you can use that's far more economically beneficial than mutual funds, stocks, real estate. There's a whole lot into the insurance world that 99% of you all don't understand and you don't know. It's not just about death. There's a lot of strategy. McDonald's was started on life insurance cash value. There's a lot of liquidity. There's a lot of guarantees. You don't lose money in certain life insurance strategies. Now, I know that Dave Ramsey, and so they just say buy term and invest. Well, you can't do it. That's death insurance. And that's what you're talking about. The only way you're going to benefit is you die. No, we talking about living benefits. There's living benefits life insurance story. And we're going to talk about that later on in the coming weeks. But if this guy, what he did was he did interest only. He took the difference, his principal, and he put it into a side fund. And that side fund grew. It was in a policy. And if he died a year or whatever, it was it'll pay off $500,000. So he insured, he guaranteed that that he's going to have, his loved ones are going to have $500,000. But what he did was he put that extra $600 a month into a policy. Man, that thing just compounded and compounded and compounded. And when you look at over the next 15 years, that thing grew so much until he had money that he was able to pay off the house if he wanted to. Matter of fact, he had enough money that it was more than the payoff value of the house. It is some fantastic strategies that you all, it's not just 1 plus 1 plus 1 equal 3. Hell, 4 minus 1 equal 3 also. And 1.5 and 1.5 equal 3. So don't just be simple-minded and think it's this one way. There's always different strategies to meet your goals. When you have a house paid off, we call that lost opportunity money, because the money is in the ground. It's not earning anything. And you need to have access to your money. You don't want to be putting your money somewhere where you don't have access. There's no liquidity. There's no guarantee. And there's an opportunity for loss. When you have a house that's paid off, that's not really safe, because you take on all the risk. What happens if a flood, an earthquake, a hurricane comes? You assume all that risk. But if you have a mortgage on that house, then the bank assumes that risk. I have a client who, pretty wealthy client. I started her and I said, listen, you have to diversify. You have some money into the market, but I don't want all your money into the market, because the market is not like it used to be 30 years ago when I got into the market. The market can be manipulated. There's a lot of special interests in the market. I'm not trying to say it's conspiracy, but hey, we have a president right now. If he just tweets, the market could go up or down. Has nothing to do with fundamental analysis or technical analysis. It's emotion. Right now, the market is so full of emotion. And if you have your retirement and all your money tied up in something like that, you don't understand money and how it works. So the whole concept here is to be able to use your money, and be able to use your money not just once, but twice. The banks use your money 10 times. You have to start understanding how to use your money at least twice, at least 3 times. You have to be able to use leverage. And my daughter talked about last night arbitrage. Arbitrage is when you borrow money at one rate and you take that money and invest the money at a higher rate. So in other words, if you could borrow money, $100,000 at 5%, and you can take that $100,000 and put it into a safe investment that's going to give you 10%. Then that means only thing you did, you the middleman. You just took money from one source and put it into another source, and you walked out with 5% profit with no money down. That's arbitrage. Banks do that to us every day. When you go and you save your money at a bank and you put $100,000 or $1,000 or $500 or whatever you put in there, the banks pay you a penny. And then they turn around and lend your deposit out to people who can afford, people who have money, because if you poor, you ain't lending you money. They turn around and lend the money out to people at 10%, 20%, 28% for some of these credit cards. And that's borrowed money. It ain't their money, it's money that you deposit in the bank. So they're doing arbitrage. And most people don't understand that, because they don't teach this in school. They don't teach this in college. A lot of times you learn it when it's so late in the game. But if you keep seeking and asking and knocking and listening to me and listening to financial shows, understanding money, then you'll start learning, because I'll break it down to you like a 6-year-old. I'll help you to understand this. Now, so what should you do if your house is paid off? Well, a lot of times, if you think about Big Mama, Big Papa, they paid off the house, they've retired. Now, when you pay off the house and you retire, and now you're getting some sort of Social Security or pension, well, now you have no tax deductions, no tax breaks. You're empty nester. You've done your job. The kids are grown. They left. Hopefully, they're not dependent upon you, but 9 times out of 10, they still are. If you're lucky, they on their own. But a lot of people not lucky. Grandmama and Big Mama got to help not only the children, but they got to help the grandchildren now. But Big Mama got a paid off house. But Big Mama not working. And she need new kitchen cabinets. And she need the roof done. But since she's not working, How's she going to get all that money that she done paid over the years and paid that house? How's she going to get to that money? She got to qualify. And they want to know what kind of job she have. And then if she only have Social Security or just barely making it on fixed income, she's not going to be able to pull equity out that house unless she get a predator loan that's going to wait for her to fall and miss a payment so they can repossess the house and take the house and foreclose. That's usually how it works. So if somebody would have told her, rather than paying off that house, put that extra money into an investment. You could take that money and put it into a duplex or another rental property and have the rental people pay off the mortgage. And now you have two assets. Think about that. Let's say you got a house and it's paid off and you got $300,000-$400,000 equity, dead money that you're not using. What if you use leverage? What if you borrow? You got $400,000 leverage. What if you take $200,000? I'm not trying to say take all the equity out. Take 50% of the equity out. If you got your house, you have $400,000 equity. Your house paid off. Man, partner up with a bank. Bring out $200,000. You bring out $200,000 equity line. Take that $200,000 and put it on a rental property. Now you paid that cash. The rental property, they're gonna pay you $1,500 a month. Now when they're paying you $1,500 a month, that's free cash flow. Plus now you got another real estate property. Now you got a tax deduction because you got another property, so to mitigate your income taxes because you're on fixed income Social Security. So now you got a deduction. You don't need no more children. You just got real estate. And every time you paint that other piece of property or cut the grass, that's more tax deductions. Now you got to pay back that mortgage of $200,000, right? Well, that $200,000 mortgage costs you $800. But that property you just bought, you rent now for $1,500. So now you got $700 cash flow. So they take out of the $1,500, you take the $800 to pay off the $200,000 refinance that you put on your home, and now you got $700,000 cash flow. And then on top of that, you got two assets. You got your home that's valued at $400,000, you owe $200, and now you got another $200,000 property that you're renting out. That's how you create leverage. That's how you use OPM. That's how you do it. Now, if you're concerned that, oh Lord, I got $200,000 on my personal residence, go out and get a life insurance policy. So when you get ready to go to heaven, it's going to be paid off. That's how you do it. That's what you're talking about, leverage. That's how you use other people's money. Man, there's so many things that I can tell you, which I am going to be telling you. I want you to tune in every Saturday, same time, same station. And if you can't, just go to YouTube or go to our website, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com, and look us up. Read our articles. I see Don Daly is in the studio. Stay tuned. He's coming up. If I said anything that'll offend you, like I said last time, suck it up. The truth hurts. And I know the truth hurts. I know I got some people hating, says, nah, I want to pay off my house. If your house paid off, give me a call. I'm going to tell you what to do, how to make more money on what you have. You always want to leverage and 10 times your money. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach. If you want to call our office, you want to get some counseling, you want to talk, it's free. You just call me. I'll schedule an appointment with you. I don't care where you in the world. Just call 305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. We're true certified financial planner. We're not just going to take your money and get you a TV dinner, buy you mutual funds or ETFs and then charge you a fee. No, we're going to actually do personal financial planning and management with you. Everybody not the same. So all y'all don't get the same. All y'all different. So it's different strategies for you. Anytime you go to the big wirehouse and they put you all in the same mutual funds and the same stocks and the same this, no, that's not a financial advisor. That's like buying you a TV dinner and charging you. We're like personal chefs. You may not need, you probably, you don't need salt or sugar in your food. So we know what kind of diet you need, what kind of financial diet you need. That's the Henderson Financial Group, the Henderson Financial Group. We got to go. Talk to you later. Same time, same place. Have a great weekend. Peace out.